Welcome to Travel Tuesday with Teresa, the ultimate source of wanderlust inspiration. Join the journey led by your host, Teresa Belcher, founder of Honeymoon Islands.
Hello, and welcome to Travel Tuesdays with Teresa. I'm your host, Teresa Belcher, the founder of Honeymoon Islands. And today I'm really excited because we're going to feature the Nordic countries. And I am really honored to co-host today with Marina. She is the owner of Nordic Luxury. Welcome to the show, Marina.
Thank you so much.
How do you pronounce your last name?
My last name is pronounced as Safonova.
Safonova. Okay, I didn't want to butcher it, so that's why I allowed you to say it. But
it's not an easy one.
Welcome to the show. So you own a company. You're live today from Iceland.
Yep.
Your office is right outside Reykjavik, I believe, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Right. So your company specializes in boutique, bespoke itineraries. You primarily work with a travel advisor. 95% of your business comes from the travel advisor, which is pretty impressive. Your credentials are endless. You're a member of Virtuoso, Signature, and a plethora of others. And because that you specialize in luxury Nordic countries and your credentials are quite impressive, this is the reason why I work with you, and you have become my travel partner in the luxury market for the Nordic countries. The Nordic countries we're going to discuss today would be Norway, Finland, Denmark, Iceland, Sweden. So I'm going to hand over the microphone to you and let you go to it.
Yeah, perfect. That's great. I'm super excited to be with you here today, and also just for the reason that I really want to share my passion to the Nordic countries with you. Over the course of many years, Scandinavia have been developing and becoming more and more popular, and actually the biggest kick to that process, or the biggest push to that popularity has come with COVID, and actually post-COVID times have been the time when Scandinavia has started to shine with new colors and opening new corners and new areas of those beautiful countries, just because this is really the corner of Europe, the corner of the world where you could be in connection with nature without much of interruption, you are pretty much often on your own, surrounded by just beautiful, pristine nature, beautiful landscapes, and just pretty much that element that everyone started to be looking for post-COVID travel time. So that's kind of why it became even more popular, but we of course will unfold that a little bit more as we go in this presentation. And I'm really happy if it will inspire you a little bit and unwrap a little bit the possibilities and the options those destinations have to offer. So we will begin with Iceland, and Iceland we call the land of fire and ice, and this cannot describe it better, especially that I'm sure that all of you have experienced heard the news of Iceland once in a while about new eruptions, and over the course of probably last 15 years we had, if I count correctly, that would be about 6 eruptions. That's probably more than any other country in the world, if we count that. But the last 3 years have been super active when we had this amazing, as we call it, touristy volcano, in that sense that it's so easily approachable when you can just literally stand around 300-400 meters away from the crater where the actual lava is spewing from inside the ground. And the scientists and volcanologists are predicting that this is going to be an ongoing eruption. It goes on and off. Last 3 summers in a row, it has been going on from 8 months to 3 months to 1 month, and it's just has been an ongoing process, and it just gives new and new opportunities for visitors to come and approach this miracle, I would say. But Iceland, as many of you know, probably is a volcanic island. It has appeared as as many of its small islands and parts, just has volcanic history. And pretty much under each and every glacier in Iceland is hidden a volcano. And that's also the volcano that has been erupting in 2010, the famous Eyjafjallajökull that I'm sure all of you heard about. That has been exactly the volcano that is located underneath the glacier, and that's the reason why it has given us so much ash. That's kind of the unique neighborhood and unique combination of fire and ice, volcanoes and glaciers. That's just gives Iceland amazing possibilities for travel and exploring in terms of activities. So also Iceland is very hot destination in terms of geothermal energy. Icelandic people are harvesting geothermal energy and bringing it to people's homes and using it for greenhouses and heating systems everywhere. But it also gives opportunities for travelers to come and enjoy geothermal spas, such as Blue Lagoon and many, many more that have been actually open here and there over the course of past 3 years. We have now few of them in the north, few in the east, a lot of them in the south, like Reykjavik and the surrounding areas. So it's not only the Blue Lagoon. If you want to experience something else, that's definitely more and more options available these days. In terms of when it's best time to travel to Iceland, Iceland has turned into an all year round destination. So it's not only the summer where you can travel to Iceland, it's also the winter months that have become more and more popular, especially for the reason that it gives us a chance to experience the amazing northern lights. But I want to also bring up the spring and especially autumn months, when we still have great weather. We have great accessibility to all the parts of the country, to the most remote areas, but then also still all the activities are up and running. But September, October are already the times when the Northern Lights season is starting. So it's kind of the best of two seasons, the best of two worlds that we bring together in those months. So that's something to consider when you're planning your trip to Iceland. Iceland is definitely a beautiful, gorgeous destination. It's a paradise for those who love active travel, who want to experience something that is beautifully satisfying for your eye. It's a paradise for photographers, and nowadays it's just like fascinating destination that gives you drive for about, I don't know, an hour and you see completely different pictures. Sometimes you don't even need to drive for an hour. Sometimes it's just 10 minutes and you are in totally different place and like seeing a different picture. So of course, Northern Lights is like I said, the highlight, and many people are trying to go to remote areas to see the Northern Lights without light disturbance, the artificial light pollution. But at the same time, of course, you can see them in the city. So it's always very popular to come and stay in the city, and sometimes you just see it outside your hotel window. Like I said, Iceland is a paradise for active travelers. So sometimes we even try to put all the activities together, try to make a list, what are our options, and it's pretty much endless. If you have any ideas, if you want to do some things, I'm pretty sure that we do have them available in Iceland. At the same time, we have a few adventures, few activities which are very special for Iceland, and Iceland would be one of the very few places in the world where you can do that, and I will mention that when we go further. So it's a paradise for those who love motorized sports. It's all sorts of buggies, ATVs, snowmobiles. Those activities and adventures are available throughout the entire year. Since snowmobiles, for example, are happening on the glaciers, and therefore we have access to the glaciers throughout the year, both in summer and winter. And we can do that all year. At the same time, we do the ice walks and ice climbs, also all year round activities. And these are usually one of the highlights for customers to do when they're in Iceland. In the summer months, we do a lot of boating and, of course, the fantastic boat rides towards the glaciers and the ice lagoon, the amazing ice lagoon. Kayaking trips also during the summer months, and we do have many areas. We do sea kayaking, we do lake kayakings, different lagoons like in the glacier lagoon. We have amazing ice caves. Some of them are only open in the winter months, some of them are throughout the year. We have ice tunnels, we have man-made ice tunnel, which is absolutely fantastic to see when you're trying to experience the glacier from inside. It's absolutely unique. Of course, famous and cute, adorable Icelandic horses. Who wouldn't like to meet them? Whale watching in several destinations across the country, in Reykjavik area and up in the north. Beautiful huskies, although those are not indigenous to Iceland, but we still have few kennels that are very passionate about breeding those husky dogs and giving us an opportunity in the winter months to do dog sledding. It's a paradise, absolute paradise for hikers. We have endless routes, hiking routes, and mostly in the summer, of course, so most of them are accessible, but some winter months as well. So of course we have to expect that in the winter most of the trails are covered with snow, but that doesn't stop us from going up and down to beautiful mountains. Mountain biking and one of the unique activities is snorkeling and diving between two tectonic plates that are actually actively drifting apart about 4 centimeters a year, or between 2 and 4 centimeters a year, depending on how the year goes with volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. But it's really beautiful place. One of the most beautiful place in the world for diving and snorkeling in fresh water. Because of the visibility, it's about 100 meters ahead of you that you see it super clear. We can also go underground. We do a lot of cavings, and we can descend actually into a chamber, magma chamber of our dormant volcano. This activity is called inside the volcano, where you are going down in a cable lift and actually stepping on the bottom of a dormant volcano, seeing all this beautiful magma colors and lava around you, and just seeing having this experience, how it actually looks from inside. It's absolutely unique experience. We do a lot of jeeping, of course. This vehicle, modified super jeeps, are giving us an opportunity to get into remote areas, cross glaciers, cross rivers, and take us to the places where usually no one else can get. So it's a very common and very popular tradition to do those special modified super trucks. Actually, they're modified here in the garages. In the summer months, we have endless opportunities for golf lovers. We have a Arctic Open and Midnight Sun golf tournaments, and plenty of beautiful golf courses when you can play golf pretty much 24/7, because actually it doesn't get dark in the night. For those who love fishing, of course, lake, river fishing, sea fishing are an option. We do have heli skiing opportunities up north, and then when it comes to what we do at Nordic Luxury, how can we make the experience even more special? How can we make it even more memorable? We have developed a concept which we call outdoor dining experiences, where we bring together Nordic cuisine and Nordic nature, and set up dinners and lunches and create those unique dining experiences in the nature. So we use lava tube caves, we use beaches, we go up to the mountains and basically bring a setup, bring a private chef and create a memorable dinner with all local ingredients. And usually our guests are saying that this would be one of the highlights of the trips. So we are very proud and very passionate about those elements that we do. Definitely it's a way to celebrate a special event, maybe a birthday, an anniversary, a special event that the guests are celebrating. So yeah, that's kind of what we try to do. We also want to bring special experiences by doing glamping. So those private tented camps we set up in remote locations in pretty much wilderness, but doing it in a nice and comfortable way. Do this camping experience. It's super popular for families and honeymooners. Depending on what we are looking for, we select the location, we bring the chef and set it up for the guests. And that again could be a highlight of the trip. So apart from the hotels and all this nice and traditional and authentic properties we use, there aren't super many international brands, but there are some these days, like the Edition, the Marriott Edition, the Retreat at the Blue Lagoon. They're very nice standards, which we could qualify as 5 stars. In many cases, we simply do not have luxury properties, and then we have created ourselves a collection of luxury lodges and villas. And those villas, they exist all across the island, mainly in the south, but also in the north and in the west. We can actually travel around and accommodate our guests in those beautiful villas and lodges. They go from 2 bedrooms up to 7 bedrooms or even 8, our biggest properties. And we bring all the service our guests need. So starting from daily housekeeping, private concierge host, chef, and spa services, just whatever we need. In this way, we can create the most luxurious and most comfortable experience that our guests are looking for. So that has been pretty much shortly and briefly about Iceland. I'm sure that you will have some questions as we move along. But my next destination would be Finland, and it's one of our and my personal and our company personal favorite, just because it's such a fairy tale. It's a true winter wonderland that we take our guests, and it's always amazing to create this fairy tale for our guests that we invite them to step in. So we begin with the capital, Helsinki, and that's usually where you begin your journey when you fly into. Usually our guests are spending a couple of nights here to experience the city and what it has to offer. It's an all year round destination, and it has a lot to offer in all seasons, both summer and winter. This capital is surrounded by water. So you have direct access to the sea, and so there's a lot of connections. Actually, you can travel by boat. It's a design capital. It has become super modern, and there's a lot of attention going on internally to developing the design and architecture. And in a way, Helsinki is just like a little sister for Stockholm and Copenhagen, which are Europe's leaders for simplicity and modern architecture. So we do a lot of those design and architecture trip. We do a lot of cultural experiences, food walks, cooking classes. So this is always very, very common here in Helsinki. At the same time, we want to combine a little bit of adventure. So a lot of boating, a lot of sea trips. You are at the doorsteps to a few national parks that surround Helsinki. and it's very easy to go and be active. You could go hiking, you could go mountain biking, fat biking, and it's just very, very easy. It's a lot of heritage as well. You can visit Suomenlinna Fortress, which is just 10 minutes away from the city by ferry. You can go to Porvoo, which is a medieval town about an hour away from Helsinki. And here, if you're interested, you can do day trips to Tallinn, Estonia, or you can do and visit a few other places in Helsinki, in Finland, such as Turku or Tampere, and to give you a little bit more understanding of Finland and Finnish culture and traditions. So then we move on to Lapland, which is the northern part of Finland, above Arctic Circle. That's the area that is called Lapland, and this is a true winter wonderland. This is exactly what you see, what you get there. This is no Photoshop, and this is really a fairy tale which you see and step into when you land. So of course it's the area that where Santa lives, and many of the family adventures are taking place here, and it's super popular for families just because of how easy and comfortable and how easy it is to move around and do the activities. Because once you're going to a husky farm or reindeer farm, or you do any of the activities, it's never more than 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes in a car, and you're there. You are never for far too long in a car, and that makes it very, very easy and enjoyable for the smaller family members. So we do a lot of snowmobiling, husky rides, reindeer farms, and you can come to feed the reindeers, or you can ride the reindeer sled and experience that. Of course, snowshoeing, skiing, snowboarding, beautiful ski resorts here in Lapland. And just imagine to be surrounded by these beautiful landscapes when you do that. Of course, this is a winter destination that I'm talking about. The season starts in November, very end of November, and lasts into April, when we still have this beautiful snow, and the days are already long enough. So basically, of course, just like everywhere else above Arctic Circle, we have polar night, which means that the daylight is about 4 hours, and that happens in the months of December and January. These are the months of the shortest daylight, but we always adjust. So we are at Nordic Luxury, we're very used to do that because pretty much all of our destinations are having these areas where we have just 4 hours of daylight. So other active options, ice rally. I know that it excites many adults. So when the kids are traveling and doing some Santa activities, you're welcome to go and experience the ice rally on one of the frozen lakes. It's really a true adventure. We have amazing, beautiful ice hotels and ice restaurants here up in Lapland, and Finland is actually the place that have taken to a next level. There are a few of them in different areas, so you cannot, if you don't want to sleep there, it's okay. You can just come and have a look, or take a dinner in one of those restaurants, and you can even try yourself in an ice sauna. Or one of the adventures that we have developed at Nordic Luxury for our guests is to an amazing and adventurous activity to build your own snow igloo. So you with your expedition guide, you do take a few hours to build your own snow igloo, and then have a little picnic inside once you're done. We also focus a lot on culture and traditions. So visiting a local shaman and having a performance, followed by a dinner or lunch. That's also something that we do a lot, and that is very popular. And of course, hunting northern lights is one of the key activities, and there are plenty of options to do that here in Lapland, in Finnish Lapland, because actually the climate here is very, very for it, because it makes it easy and comfortable, because this destination is kind of hidden between other countries, and there's a lot of the climate is much more stable, so the Northern Lights is more predictable, while actually it doesn't snow. So because in months of December and January it snows a lot, but then going into February, March, early April, there we have more clear nights and clear skies. So same as in Iceland, we do as much as we can outdoor dining. It's not really outdoor here because the weather can be a bit tough in winter months, and the temperature can drop down to sometimes -30 even. So we do use local teepee tents, igloos, reindeer herder shelters and all of that, but just to redecorate them and make them very welcoming and authentic. And again, we might have chefs cooking an open fire for the guests and so on. So where do we stay? We of course again use the hotels, but in many places they are just rather simple. What we use a lot is lodges and villas. And they are actually great in Finnish Lapland. They are amazing, and there is a huge selection of them. So again, from smaller properties, 2-3 bedrooms are not so popular. Not many of them are in this standard, but the bigger ones, 4, 5, 6 bedrooms are actually very, very popular. So and at the same time, we do have this amazing type of accommodation, which actually have put Finland and Finnish Lapland on the map, is authentic igloos. So these are these igloos are originally built for Northern Lights hunting, and there is a huge number of them in different locations. They are in Levi, in Rovaniemi, in Ruka. It's all amazing and great. And nowadays there are even glass suites and igloo suites, not only just small igloos. When this whole concept started, they usually didn't have bathroom and so on, but nowadays you can even have your own private jacuzzi and all of that. So this is all developing and becoming more and more popular. So of course it's a paradise for honeymoon couples, for those who are going on romantic holidays and romantic retreats. Those destinations are simply great. So moving on to Norway.
Marina, can I interject before you go to Norway? Finland is really popular to see Santa. So for all you grandparents and parents watching right now, I would encourage you to reach out to me. I'll give you my contact later at the end. But I've got several clients that have gone to go see Santa, and they've taken their kids, I think a really sweet age to go see the kids. First of all, for kids to see Santa at any age is spectacular, but traveling can be a different story. So reach out to me, because it's really popular to rent villas for families to go see Santa Claus. It is magical. It's much more magical to see Santa in Santa's land as opposed to going to the mall or going to Disney World to see, Disney. It really is a very special touch. So to see that and the Northern Lights, that would be a bucket list item, I would say. So continue. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, of course. And I just want to say that you're totally right. And imagine just doing your magical active day during the day with full of activities and adventures, and then getting your family together around a cozy fireplace in a villa or a lodge. That's just my personal dream of a great family holiday. So it's all coming together here in Finland and in Scandinavia. Yes. So going on to Norway. Norway is, of course, I would say, in the Nordic destination, it's a foundation of all the other destinations that have come and developed on top. It looks and feels like Norway has always been popular, and the fjords, the famous fjords, is on the bucket list for a lot of travelers all across the globe. And there is, of course, totally a valid reason for that. This is one of the most beautiful, one of the most amazing destinations in the world, of this amazing nature beauty to experience all across the seasons, and not only in the summer when they are in their peak of beauty and accessibility, but also in the winter months. And definitely it's the destination to consider for both for family trips, for honeymoons, and for all types of travelers, especially for those who are looking for active travel, because hiking here and adventure trips in those fjords actually are like no other. Those hiking trails are to be remembered for the rest of your life, for sure. So we really love here in Norway to bring culture and nature and experiences and tradition together, because actually, no matter where you go in Norway, no matter how far and remote you go, you always have a feeling that there is an infrastructure, there is accessibility, everything is easy and connected, but at the same time, it feels really remote, because sometimes to get to one location, you need to cross several fjords, you need to take ferries, you need to travel for some time, because actually the coastline of Norway and the distances are, maybe they seem close on the map, but in fact everything is taking time, and it is quite a distance. So planning those trips requires some patience and consideration, especially when you have some dream locations to visit and to see. So usually the fjord area is visited in the summer months. Of course, that's kind of the peak season, and the fjord area which we consider the fjords of Norway. These are the destinations from Stavanger in the south, then Bergen and Ålesund, and up to Trondheim in the north, which is kind of, if you look at the map, is the middle of Norway, the central Norway. And when you travel from south to the north, the landscape changes, the mountains become higher, and they are not so flat like on this picture, like you see. This is the south of the fjord area, where the mountains are a little bit flat, and going further north, they are getting higher and higher, and even in the summer, the peaks of the mountains are covered in snow, and gives a lot of contrast. So again, Norway is an adventure destination. We could do so many things. We could do rafting, kayaking, biking, hiking. It's a lot of adrenaline and adventure going around. Some a bit more simple adventures that are accessible for everybody, like rib boating, and it's actually one of my favorite ways to experience the fjords, because you can move around pretty fast, you can cover a lot of areas, you're traveling from A to B, from different place to place. There is amazing fishing opportunities, because don't forget that Norway is a fishing destination, and it's a part of the culture. And related to that, the fish market and the culture of just one of the best fish in the world to taste, and all those amazing fish restaurants that are just here. Again, the food culture, and it's a big thing in Norway these days. Few famous restaurants have just been opened this year. For example, Iris restaurant, which is a Michelin restaurant in the middle of the fjord. Some of you have heard about it, I'm sure, on social media. It has been a big opening, but there is a reason. Of course, the local ingredients, the produce is all local here in Norway, and super fresh. And you would be fascinated and surprised to know that here in the fjords there are lots of fruit trees, lots of orchids. We grow apples, pears, even peaches, and there are lots of places and breweries where we make our own beer and cider and lots of jams, and it's all amazing local produce that you have an opportunity to taste. Again, we do unique outdoor dining experiences in its own way, in all seasons and all locations. So for example, imagine traveling by boat to one of our remote locations, one of the islands out in the sea, where a chef is waiting for you for a private dinner or lunch, and giving you an opportunity to taste the local fish and local seafood. We do also special food walks and heritage trips to experience the traditional food recipes and so on. And of course, the Viking culture. Don't forget that. That's where the Vikings are coming from Norway. A lot of cultural trips covering the cities. I think it's essential to combine the nature and the cities, at least one of them, and all of them are beautiful. If you start from Bergen, Ålesund, Stavanger and Trondheim, and famous Oslo, of course, that's usually the trips that we do. They are between 5 to 10 days in average, and depending on the number of days, there are 2 or 3 cities and locations that you can include. Of course, Oslo is the capital, and in many ways that's where people start, but you will be surprised that many guests choose to skip Oslo and go straight to the north or straight to Bergen in the fjords. But Norway is so big and so different locations, so different from each other, that it's easy to even come here several times to experience different adventures. The northern part of Norway is absolutely gorgeous, very beautiful. Lofoten Islands, Alta region, Tromsø region, both in summer and in winter. These are all year-round destinations, and people travel here in different seasons for different reasons. So it's the place, the areas with very strong fishing traditions. So lots of adventures are related to that. But at the same time, here you see absolutely gorgeous mountains. They are all around you. So hiking, mountain biking, in winter and summer, even downhill skiing and all of that. This is the place to do that. Of course, this is the area above Arctic Circle, so amazing chances for northern lights again. And Norway definitely is in the top list for northern light hunting of all the destinations. So you can travel by huskies, reindeers, similar experiences as in Iceland and Finland. You can even, if you're a true nature enthusiast and adventurer, you can come and experience reindeer migration. This is happening in the spring months, in March and April. And this is definitely once in a lifetime experience. I'm sorry.
Bless you. You can take some water, drink some water. But yeah, just to kind of fill in, I have clients that are going to Lapland, and I don't know if, Marina, if they have this airing in Iceland or not, but here in America, Bravo is a channel. They have Below Deck Norway, or the adventure of Below Deck Adventure, and it's filmed in Norway, and it gets I watch it whenever it's airing, and it gets me pumped up and excited to go to Norway. I've never been to Norway. I've been to some Scandinavian countries, but not Norway. And I'm ready to go. Every time I see the show, I'm pumped up. I'm like, yeah, that's where I'm going. And then something else sidetracks me where I have to go somewhere else for work. But anyway, continue on.
Yeah, and then, I mean, Norway, of course, in the northern part, it has... It looks on the map very small, but it has so much contrast. And even further north, the Svalbard archipelago, the Spitsbergen archipelago. This is the land of polar bears, and this is the ultimate adventure, where basically you can actually in real time, in real life, see the northern lights and see the polar bears, and just be completely on your own. You travel here by snowmobiles, you don't see anybody for hundreds and hundreds of kilometers, and the only place to stay is either you're in Longyearbyen or you're in some very remote camps or trappers huts, which is basically just an adventure of a next level. So we invite the super adventurous spirits to come and experience this, and meet those cute but dangerous animals. But this is definitely on a bucket list for many people, to come and experience this wildlife in its best. In terms of accommodation, again, here in Norway, we have amazing traditional beautiful hotels, lodges and villas. We handpick those experiences and hotels, and we really try to make it as special for our guests as we only can, because it's very important that the hotels really fit the concept and fit the location. We are very happy that it develops into the spa elements and retreats. Norway is really picking up in the past years on this movement and this important features for wellness and health and recreation, because actually it goes hand in hand with the landscapes and everything that's around you. So it's an amazing location for that, and which set your mind in such a peace when you're there. So many private lodges and villas, again, we contract and use as part of our portfolio. A very traditional way of life, and experience the destination with your own private chefs and everything that comes with. So but of course, here in Norway, we have a little bit more variety of hotels and so on. So it's not as necessary for luxury travelers to be in a private lodge or a villa. It's just more for privacy reasons, and when you are really wanting to focus on this private privacy and seclusion. Moving on to Sweden. Sweden, of course, is a destination with very strong tradition and focus on design, Nordic cuisine, and Nordic minimalism in architecture. So, of course, also the history and tradition is very strong in very important part. But to be honest, amongst our travelers that are coming to see this destination and experience, many of them are very interested and very focused on experiencing Nordic cuisine in its best way. So a lot of focus goes on the food walks with different themes and topics, and some of them are focusing on the pastry and generic and food classes, the cooking classes, and so on. The architecture, taking people to local underground to experience how it looks, the culture and traditions. But apart from that, we never forget that nature is right at our doorstep. The beautiful and fascinating Stockholm archipelago is just literally 1 hour away from Stockholm, and it's very easy to combine and very easy to create adventure experiences just right outside the capital. So here we have an amazing tented camp, for example. It's a glamping experience, and where you could spend a night or two in comfort, just an hour away from the city. Very easy. You can go kayaking, you can go island hopping, you could go and on a riverboat, see the seals, go fishing. We could set up a beautiful lunch or dinner or a picnic on one of the islands, and this is just an amazing experience that we could combine with the buzzing and busy city. Going up north, of course, here in Sweden, we also have Lappish territory, Lappish country, Swedish Lapland. It starts in a beautiful area of where you will find the famous tree hotel that you probably have come across once or twice in your life in different architectural magazines or hotels to stay, which are fascinating. At the same time, not far from here, you'll find a new Arctic Baths Hotel, which is a unique spa hotel, which is located on the river. And some of the units, some of the rooms are just frozen into the river, and some of them are overlooking the river itself. So it's unique construction, a unique property, focusing on wellness, well-being, peace of mind, and all of that. But at the same time, you have access to all the winter adventures and activities and amazing northern lights. As well, there is a unique place with I would call it an ultimate romantic and ultimate honeymoon destination with a small property which just works and open for just 2 guests. So you can arrive here in a helicopter or kind of a car, do all the winter adventures, and the whole resort works just for you two. And it's an amazing experience, and beautiful, beautiful landscapes. Going further north, we have a lodge that focuses on dog sledding, and the owners are breeding dogs and breeding huskies in generations. They have the biggest kennel in Scandinavia, and they have created a beautiful property where they welcome guests to come and stay. You can come by husky, you can leave by snowmobile, but it's complete wilderness and such a unique experience to do. Here up north, we also have the famous ice hotel, which is nowadays open 365 days a year. There's a building that keeps it cold, and you can have the overnight experience even in the summer. So yeah, that's kind of Sweden for you. And Sweden, of course, is a big destination. When we talk about the best time to travel, it depends on where you're going. The southern part, the capital, is all year round, and the Stockholm archipelago, of course, is the most beautiful and most accessible in the summer months. But when it comes to the central Sweden and northern part, that's of course when we recommend to travel in the winter months, when we have snow and we have access to all the winter adventures. And going onwards to Denmark, Denmark is our most modern, most sophisticated in terms of design and culture and heritage. We really want to promote other parts of Denmark besides Copenhagen. There is a lot to explore. There are beautiful mountains and cliffs. There are beautiful white sand dunes and lots of holiday areas where you could be at a beautiful beach by the sea in a small cozy cabin. Beautiful castles and beautiful remote areas. Here we also have even a place where you can try local oysters. Not very common for the Nordic countries, but completely local and authentic. There are plenty of areas to explore and combine with your trip to Copenhagen. Again, for families, famous Legoland. That's a great add-on to the capital. But of course, in all seasons, Copenhagen remains #1 destination in Denmark. And that's when we have amazing Christmas markets, like in all European capitals. It's really popular. We love to invite our guests on a trip as a local. So it's a bicycle city, so we do a lot of cycling trips. Would it be city sightseeing or just people rent and just explore the city on their own, but a lot in many cases with a guide and truly experiencing the city as a local. We love to take our guests on exploration journeys. We take them to the showrooms of local designers and try to show the design and the fashion through their eyes, because that's fashion and design in Denmark is actually the highlight and the most authentic in the entire Scandinavia. It's a lot of emphasis on interior design, in architecture, and of course on the local cuisine, which is new Nordic cuisine, and the best restaurants in the world are located here in Copenhagen. There are so many of them. So we take the guests behind the scenes, we take them on cooking classes and let them kind of step into that world of new Nordic cuisine in the best way we can. So that was briefly a short introduction of the Nordic countries. I really hope you find it inspiring, and this is truly beautiful destinations, and wonderful people inhabit those countries, really warm and welcoming, even though it's a Nordic, it's northern it's northern destinations, but people are really warm and with warm hearts and welcoming to their guests that are curious about those destinations. So feel free to come and experience this for yourself. And thank you so much.
Well, you did a great job, Marina. Thank you for that presentation. It's quite refreshing, is the proper word, to showcase unusual destinations compared to the tropics. I love the tropics. My hearts are in tropics. But honestly, this world is so large. You need to see every country. I remember many, many years ago when I was a young child, my ultimate goal in life was to travel and see every country on planet Earth. And I've checked a lot of boxes. So it is really heartwarming to visit some of these Nordic countries. And like I said earlier in the presentation, to take kids to go see Santa in Santa's homeland in Lapland, Finland, is really a bucket list item for all parents and grandparents, so their kids can experience Santa in the authentic location. But, you know, Norway has the reputation of being the adventure capital of the world. So if you're an adventurist, that would be your place. So Iceland is also a lot of adventure. There's something for everybody in these Nordic countries. So I hope somebody today was inspired by this presentation. And if you are inspired to travel to the Nordic countries, please reach out to me. My name is Teresa Belcher. You can get my contact information off of Honeymoon Island's website. Just go to that website and click on Contact Us, and you'll be able to contact me. And what we'll do is we'll create and design a customized bespoke itinerary just for your needs, just for what you're looking for. There really, if you've learned anything, there's not one itinerary, correct me if I'm wrong, Marina, there's not one itinerary that is duplicate from the other. Everybody's travel needs are different, and everybody's travel wants are different, and everybody's budgets are different. So whatever you had envisioned in your heart you want this vacation to be, we create it from ground zero. We build it according to what you want. We customize every single vacation.
Yeah, so that's very important for us to hear your needs, to hear your dreams, and make them come true. And like Teresa says, that's correct, that no itinerary is the same. And we really try to put it that way that fits your family, fits your schedule, and your way of travel, to make it more comfortable and to tick all the boxes you want to see and do.
And, as a travel advisor, I'm on the front lines working directly with the traveler, trying to create something. And the very first question I hear is, how much does it cost to go to Iceland? Well, there is no answer to that. What do you want to do? How long do you want to go for? There is no how much should you budget? What does your third eye tell you your dream should be? That's how much it's going to cost. So the higher the dream, the higher the budget. So no one size fits all on this type of journey. So if anyone is inspired to go to the Nordic countries, please reach out to me. And Marina, thank you for spending your time live from Iceland, may I say. And I appreciate you spending your time today with us and doing this beautiful presentation.
Thank you so much, Teresa, and all of you. And I hope we'll have a bit of Northern Lights tonight. And that's what I invite you all to see.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Stay tuned for more episodes that will unveil new horizons and immerse you in the beauty of global discovery. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, if you can dream it, we will create it.